Hi, so this is going to be a very important video for those who wish to prepare for the UPSC examination or for those who want a right direction in the UPSC examination. If you'll ask me, in my entire series of RM videos, which is the most important video, I will take the name of this video. Sir and ma'am, many of the aspirants give multiple attempts in this preparation just because of the mistakes which can be avoided during the preparation. And believe me, if you can bridge these mistakes or if you can avoid these mistakes, let me tell you, you will give your best attempt. So this video may be quite boring for you, but you need to ensure that you get the essence of this video until the end. And you have to ensure that you are incorporating whatever suggestions I am making into your preparation as well. Okay. So basically I have divided the video in 3 parallels. First of all, I will be discussing the mistakes which you have to avoid overall in the UPSC preparation. Then I will be discussing the mistakes which you have to avoid in the prelims preparation and in the mains preparation finally. So if I talk about the mistakes when you prepare for the UPSC overall, the first and foremost mistake which 90% of you make is the lack of syllabus awareness. For most of you, as I have already told in my previous videos, UPSC is all about 7 or 8 subjects. See, first of all, as a serious aspirant, I sincerely request from all of you that not only the subjects, you should know the topics. Not only the topics, you should know the subtopics which you have to read as the part of this preparation. And this will help you at multiple stages, at multiple levels. And if you know your syllabus well, that is the very first step in the right direction. Okay. Now, in this, I will be helping with you a separate video. I will be giving a list of subtopics, a checkbox which you have to keep on your study table while studying. Okay. The first and foremost mistake which we don't have to make is we should be aware about the entire syllabus, not only the subject, topics and rather subtopics. Okay. Second beta, you do not know the complete syllabus even if you're doing the foundation classes. Let me assume, even if you're doing the foundation classes, be whatsoever institute from, be from whatever institute you are doing it. Sometimes you miss some of the subjects. Maybe the subject of social justice is missed. Maybe the subject of, let's say, disaster management is missed. Maybe you have not done with the essay yet. What I'm trying to make a point is, first of all, you are ignoring a subject. Let me assume in your institute, all the subjects were covered. Let me assume. Within a subject also, you are ignoring a topic per se. Let's say you covered your social justice, but in your class, the topics like manual scavenging, the topics like LGBT community, or maybe the other topics like youth, etc. were ignored out of the time paucity in the classes. What I am trying to make a point is, for you, maybe your class notes is the 100% syllabus, but let me tell you, please come out from it and try to know the entire syllabus through the PYQs, so that you're completing the entire syllabus in a sense, and you're not only depending on your sources. And let me tell you one thing, the checklist which I will be giving here, or the decoding videos which I will be giving here, will be doing a justice to your syllabus completion as well, that you know what all topics you have missed, and in topics also what all subtopics you have missed. For example, you are doing agriculture. In your classes, teacher didn't cover the way forward, or maybe teacher didn't cover the, let's say, government initiatives in agriculture. Or maybe you were doing the women empowerment, teacher never covered the, let's say, government initiatives in the women empowerment. Or maybe you were covering, let's say, manual scavenging, teacher never covered the causes of manual scavenging. So what I am trying to make, even in topics, the subtopics, we have to ensure that we are covering all of it. Okay. Third mistake which we have to avoid is source related. You will hear this from many people, many toppers, that people just, or the aspirant just keep on hopping the sources. For example, for the polity, one day you will pick up Lakshmikant, other day you will go to NCRTs, then you will go to foundation classes, then you will find some fancy material in the market, you will switch to that material, and you will keep on hopping for the multiple sources for the single subject. At the very first stage, if you're starting the preparation and if you want to start it right, lock your sources. Not only lock your sources from the prelims perspective, but from the mains perspective too. See, how to get it done? Again, I will come with a video in which I will guide you how you have to get your sources finalized from our team. Okay. See, after this, the next mistake which we are making is that, you know, we think that covering the sources is all about UPSC preparation. It is 100% of the preparation. Let me tell you, sir, apart from completing the syllabus, there are other parallels of this preparation. You have to do the revisions, you have to do the practice, you have to solve the PYQs, you have to solve the test series, you have to do the enrichment. You know how to write the answer, you should know how to write the answers. What I'm trying to make a point is, other than just completion of the syllabus, sir, other parallels of the examination also holds at least 80% of the entire, you know, what I can say, the strength. So if syllabus completion is 20%, rest 80% is all about revision, practice, PYQs, etc, etc. So we should not make the perspective that only, you know, completing the syllabus will help us. Okay. Next thing is poor revision strategy. When you try to revise, you try to bulk out your sources or revision sources. We have to ensure that we are revising the things multiple times, and that is only possible when you're compacting your books. For example, let's say if someone is revising from 1000 pages and if the other guy is revising from 100 pages, who will revise more number of times? The person who is revising from the 100 pages. So we have to ensure that we have to compact our sources when we are revising the things. Okay. And what else can be done in the revision strategy is something which we have to see in the video. Okay, I will only discuss that in that video. Then less number of revisions. For many of you, you have the mindset that, you know, before the exam we will be revising the things maybe 2 times or maybe 1 time at least, or maybe 3 times. Let me give you a thumb rule, and if you are a serious aspirant, you will follow with this thumb rule. Until December or maybe January, you have to revise everything. First of all, you have to complete the syllabus. Then you have to revise everything at least 2 times by January end. Then further you have to do at least 7 revisions until May end. So if you know the exam cycle, May we will be having the prelims. So what I am requesting, in total you have to revise everything at least 10 times. 2 times plus 1 time source before December or January. Then more 7 times between January to May. Then ignoring PYQs, a blunder which many of the aspirants do. They think that, you know, since UPSC has already asked it, UPSC ने पूछ लिया है तो वापस क्यों पूछेगा, और जब वापस नहीं पूछेगा तो पढ़ना क्यों है. See, PYQs are very, very important in order to understand the mindset of the examiner at the very first stage. Secondly, you will come to know what you have to leave, what you have to read in the syllabus. Thirdly, PYQ will help you to develop the aptitude. When you even don't know the answer of the question, how you have to go about that question, how you have to tackle the bouncer questions. Okay? And take it from me, PYQs you have to at least attempt 5 times before you go to your final exam. At least 5 times for prelims, and at least 1 time of mains. You have to write the answers by your own hand of 8 years. Next mistake which you do is your entire UPSC journey, or maybe 50% of the time you devote to the current affairs. You will be giving to the newspaper, you will be giving to the monthly magazine, then you will go to some YouTube videos, then maybe, you know, you will make some notes out of the newspaper, and that is where you will spend maybe 3 hours or 4 hours of your day. Sir and ma'am, please understand one thing, that only time, or the maximum time which you can devote to current affairs is 2 hours in a single day. Not even a single minute more than that. And within 2 hours you have to finalize your sources also, in which newspaper is inevitable. Karna hi karna hai. After that, either you are incorporating any course, maybe, you know, some course you can incorporate, or maybe monthly magazine, or maybe, you know, whatever you want to do, but that has to be done in maximum the 1 hour per day. So what I'm trying to make a point is, we have to ensure that we are limiting our current affairs ka time. Otherwise you will sacrifice your other things. Maybe you are ignoring some parts of the syllabus, maybe you are not doing answer writing, or not giving time to the answer writing, or maybe you are not doing the optional, or maybe you are ignoring the, you know, some other part of the syllabus. So limit your current affairs ka time. Do not stretch it much. 1 hour to the newspaper, 1 hour to the other revision source. It could be monthly magazine, it could be some classes, it could be anything. So on an average, in a week 7 more hours to some other source other than the newspaper. Then focus upon knowledge over marks. I've seen many of the aspirants, they will just run behind the knowledge. I agree, first thing, knowledge is important, indeed the very first step for the conceptual clarity. But beta, understand one thing, apart from knowledge, this exam needs more things. Okay? And one of the important thing which this exam requires is the aptitude. So you should not be just focusing upon the knowledge, and let me tell you, you cannot solve even the cutoff marks in the prelims examination with your knowledge. You know, you won't be able to qualify the cutoff with knowledge only. So what all things should be incorporated apart from knowledge so that we can fetch the marks in the final examination is something which should be your focus, and this I will deal in the separate video. Then ignoring trinity of marks. Now what is trinity of marks? Generally I say that trinity is first conceptual clarity, which will come from the knowledge, no doubt. Second is beta factual accuracy. Second parallel of this trinity is factual accuracy, which will come from the multiple revisions. And third parallel of this is aptitude, that even if you don't know the answer, even if you know that, let's say 2 of the option, three of them, if you are stuck in the question, how you have to reach to the answer by increasing the accuracy level. Aptitude, that comes from the practice. First is knowledge will lead to concepts, then you have the this revisions will lead to factual accuracy, facts will be more correct, then with the more practice you will develop the aptitude. Next mistake which you have to avoid is absence of mentor. Let me tell you, if you want to save the attempt, please hold a right hand, hold a hand of someone who can guide you right. Okay? He or she should be available. He or she should have the knowledge, the depth and the basic understanding of the exam. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सिलेबस फरवरी तक कर रहे हो and there is no one to tell you बेटा ये गलत है. ठीक है? There should be someone who can mold your preparation in such a way that you are giving your best attempt the next year. So please don't ignore this fact that a mentor can help you a lot in this preparation. He can help you to save many of the attempts. See, I've seen many of the aspirants, in the very first attempt they will complete the syllabus, then they will realize that I have to make the summaries. In the next attempt he will make the summaries, then he will realize I have to solve the PYQs, I have to do the enrichment, and I have to do the answer writing also. Then the next attempt he will do all these 3 things. Then he will realize that apart from this I need some more number of revisions, I need some what I can say, the practice and all those things. So that is how many attempts are wasted in the process of this journey. So do not make this mistake. Please hold a hand which is right, and if you want to get connected with a mentor, you will find a form below in the description. Fill that form and you will be connected by a mentor from our team who will help you to make the preparation plan, the entire one-to-one preparation plan. Then absence of milestones. Many of you keep on going, you don't know in how many days you have to complete the polity, you don't know in how many days you have to complete the economy. See, again I am making the same thing iterated, that it's not only about syllabus completion, you have to revise it, and you have to revise it many number of times. So you should know how much time you have to give for the first iteration, then how much time for the first revision, then next, and then next. And within these revisions also you have to ensure how you are upgrading your knowledge, how you are upgrading your marks. Okay? So you have to set some milestones. Here I will be completing my syllabus by September end, then I will keep, let's say, October for the exam oriented notes, then by November end I will be doing the enrichment and answer writing wala thing. December I have to now this is not something that you have to complete the enrichment and answer writing within that month. I am saying that is the end date. So that will start from day 1 only, along with the syllabus only, that will start. But that's the end day where you will give a pause to it. By December end, from today until December end, you have to ensure you have to complete all the PYQs. Then by January, you will have to complete your test series, Partland test and all those things. And that is how you have to make some milestones. And the mentor will be the best person to do it for you. And again, I am iterating a fact. We are making one-to-one milestones for many of you. Please fill the form below. Then poor time management. If you have given some attempts, you will agree with me, sir and ma'am, many of you fail to manage the time between GS and optional, or maybe between static and current affairs, or maybe between CSET and GS, or maybe between prelims and mains, or maybe between the big 5 subjects or the peripheral subjects, that you are not giving the time to essay, ethics, or maybe mains oriented, maybe post independence, world history, governance, social justice, disaster management, because you know that is the part of the main syllabus exclusively, right? What I'm trying to make a point is, beta, this poor time management, although you are in some fancy world that you know, अगर मेरा प्रीलिम निकल गया तो मैं पूरा ऑप्शनल 2 महीने में ख़त्म कर लूँगा और मैं बहुत मेहनत करूँगा, but when it comes to the result or the practical mindset, not possible. ठीक है? So we have to ensure that how we are managing the time from the very first day, and again the mentor will be helping in the time management. Okay, then FOMO, fear of missing out, again a very big factor, a very big mistake. You're reading polity, you came to realize your friend is doing polity from XYZ source, and that source is better than the Lakshmikant. Now you are going into some FOMO that अगर मैंने वहाँ से नहीं किया तो भाई मेरा तो नहीं होगा. That is wrong. ठीक है? If you are doing it from the standard source, back that source. Please do not go into the FOMO. Do not pick up anything new unless until your mentor advises you. Okay, and that is where you will save your attempt. Believe me, if you are keeping your sources intact, and if you are value adding your source, if you are revising your source, if you are what I can say, upgrading your source, whatever topics are left in the syllabus, you are reading it from some other places, but you are not disturbing your source. You're just adding those topics which you missed from the source from the other sources. You have to trust your sources. So at the very first step, please get your sources locked with the mentorship support. Then the next thing is shortcuts. I've seen many of you will not even start the preparation. Sir, in polity, tell me what all subjects are or what all chapters are important. I will just read those chapters. Take it a rule from me. Shortcuts are the shortest path to failures. Shortest path. If you want something concrete, if you want to go all in, and if you want a rank in the next attempt, please ensure one thing for sure, that until February you will not even think for any shortcut. No shortcut needed whatsoever until February. In March, April, May, based upon the preparation, again based with the help of mentor support or whatsoever your mentor is guiding you, go for the things. But until Feb, give your best to keep your things comprehensive. Okay, then imbalances in personal life, so you do not plan well. I told you in my last video that beta, this preparation from today will take at least 2 years, at least 2 years, even if you're cracking everything in the very first attempt. Even if you're cracking the, let's say, 2026 prelims, mains, interview, and getting a rank, then also your result will be out in April 2027, which is almost 2 years from now. So if you don't plan things, maybe your finances, maybe family support, or maybe your personal life, or maybe your the fun activities, then you face imbalances in personal life. So whenever you're starting for this preparation, just ensure that these things should not disturb you for the next at least 2 years. Okay, and that is the reality. Now I will come to the mistakes which generally you people do in prelims, and I will not take much time. Hardly in 1 minute I will finish it off, because I have to repeat the same thing. So apart from whatever we have discussed on this slide, here I will just discuss 3 more things. First is ignoring CSET. Many of you take CSET lightly, and that is the year in which UPSC will give you a bouncer in CSET. So please do not ignore CSET, even if you're from the BTech background, or even if you're an engineer, or even if you have maths as your background. Please solve PYQs at least I'm saying. And if possible, hold a right hand in CSET at the very first stage from August only, and ensure you are completing your syllabus by January end. So if you're giving the exam in, let's say, May 2026 or 2026 your prelims ka attempt or UPSC ka attempt, finish your CSET by January 2026. End it. Do not drag it into the month of March or April. Those months are months of too much stress. You cannot learn anything new. So CSET is a subject which you have to learn through the concepts. Okay, so do not drag it to those February, March and April ka month. Then you ignore the aptitude whenever you are solving the prelims ka questions. You think that only my knowledge should help me to solve the question. That is not how it works, neither in the mocks nor in the final UPSC exam. On the D-Day, from whatever sources you study, whatever you do, how much best you are giving in studies, hardly you will be able to crack 40 questions. And if you agree with me, that is not the cutoff. Cutoff is higher than 40 questions, right? Cutoff is more than 80. That is what I am trying to say. So we need aptitude also when we are dealing with the prelims, and that is where I will be helping you personally. Then poor energy in February to May ka month, so you exhaust yourself like anything in the classes. Then you think my classes are over, now it is fun time for me, I'm free. But that is your real, what I can say, the time which you should be devoting in the preparation, and you should be giving your 100%. Okay, because if you're not working hard in these months, your prelims will lie in the risk zone. Okay, so have the mindset that if you're giving, let's say, 1x of yours or 100% of yours in months before January, then you have to give, let's say, 110 or 120% in February to May ka month. Then the mistakes which you have to avoid in mains, first and foremost is, please ensure that you are choosing a right optional. Please, please, please. I've seen many of the aspirants wasting 4 attempts or 5 attempts, just because of their optional. In 5 of their attempts, they will crack the prelims for 4 times, but they will fail all the mains just because of the optional. But the very first stage, they didn't choose the optional, maybe of their strength or maybe of their interest. So I will release a video on this. What is the most practical thing? You need not to watch any of the YouTube videos, nothing. You will take your own decision. I promise you, you will take your own decision that what option you have to choose. So we will choose it very practically. I will help you those in the RM series of videos only. And please ensure that you are choosing your option wisely, because ultimately we are here for the rank. And if your optional is wrong, if you're not able to perform better in the optional or good in the, or even average in the option, you'll never secure a rank. Believe me, believe me. Then ignoring optional preparation. So even if you have chosen your optional right, maybe of your strength, maybe of your interest, but you ignored it. You thought, since I have to, my first aim is to crack the prelims, I will pick up the optional once I will crack the prelims. Hence I will not study optional as of now. I will not give time to the optional. All of my time will go to the GS ka preparation or maybe current affairs ka preparation. A big no, a big no. Please understand, optional gives you the confidence in the mains preparation, and your confidence in the mains preparation gives you the confidence in the prelims preparation, and that confidence in the prelims preparation will be eventually helping you to clear the prelims. So do not let your optional ruin everything, or do not let your mains preparation ruin everything. मैं एक्सपीरियंस से बता रहा हूँ आपको, जिस बच्चे की मेंस की तैयारी नहीं होती ना, वो प्रीलिम निकालने में भी स्ट्रगल करता है, क्योंकि कॉन्फिडेंस ही नहीं होता उसको अपने ऊपर, यार मैं निकाल के भी क्या कर लूँगा, समझ रहे हो आप. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज पेन इन आंसर राइटिंग. So generally you don't know how to write the answer, you don't know how to start answer writing, you don't know how to break the questions into part, you don't know how to address the parts of the question, how to structure the question, how to generate the funnel of the content, how to give the arguments, how to do the value addition, templates of conclusion, templates of introduction. So what I'm trying to make a point is, this is also a pain, generally a mistake by aspirants, because they do not get a right guidance around them. Okay? So that is where I will be again helping you. I will be telling a way out how we have to ensure that we are on the right path in terms of answer writing. Okay, beta. Then 250 marks each. Ethics essay. On day 1 you will be giving the essay ka paper 250 marks, and on day 3 you will be writing your ethics 250 marks. And these 500 marks of your mains preparation are majorly ignored by most of the aspirants. मैं ऐसे ऐसे बच्चों से मिला हूँ, मेंस लिखने जा रहे हैं, बट कभी जिंदगी में ऐसे नहीं लिखा उन्होंने. अब दिस इज अ मिस्टेक, right? When everyone is scoring decent enough in essay and ethics, and you are the backbencher in that case, in that scenario, then you are risking your attempt again. पूरे साल आपने मेहनत की, बट आपने 500 मार्क्स को छोड़ा है. आप समझ रहे हो, 500 मार्क्स मेंस की प्रिपरेशन में, या आपका लाइक मेंस का ही कट ऑफ 750 700 जाता है, 800 जाता है, आपका पूरा रैंक डिसाइड हो जाती है 1000 मार्क्स पे. 1000 आगे तो पूरा आप रैंक लिस्ट के अंदर हो जाते हो. आप पूरा 500 मार्क्स इग्नोर करके जाते हो, है ना. दैट इज वी डोंट हैव टू मेक. देन वी समटाइम्स इग्नोर मेंस ओनली सब्जेक्ट. For example, let's say in paper 1 you ignore social justice, in paper 2 you ignore governance, maybe sorry, in paper 1 you ignore Indian society, in paper 2 you ignore governance, social justice, maybe IR, in paper 3 you ignore this disaster management, internal security. Then in paper 1 sometimes you also ignore world history, sometimes you ignore post independence. That is what we don't have to do. Okay, we will be covering all the subjects in the comprehensive manner. So I have written some solution for all the mistakes on the right side. I will ask you to take a pause, read them. I will talk about them in detail in my subsequent videos. As of now, if you can do it for me, go to back, write all the mistakes in a sheet of paper and stick to your study wall. Okay? If you are doing it, believe me, you are increasing your chances of getting selected. Okay? I will not say you will get selected. I will say you are increasing your chances of being selected. Okay? And there's a program of Aram where we are making a one-to-one plan. We are finalizing our sources. We are giving you some basic set of NCERT videos also. Then my series of lectures will be a part of it, and a nominal fees is there. That is it. So you have to fill a form given in the QR code and the description also. Okay, fill a form. Whether you're giving the attempt in 2026, 2027, 2028, or maybe further, hardly matters. We're happy to guide you. Okay, so this is the course Aram, where we want to help you to give a right start to your UPSC journey. See you in the next video with subjects and subtopics. If you remember, the first mistake which we make is we are not aware about the entire syllabus, and I will be giving you a list of subtopics. I will be giving a PDF which you have to refer in this particular video. Thank you. See you.